In today's episode, the 1962 Vauxhall Cresta. Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. The channel looks at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond. So if you're interested in this very niche subject of looking at car brochures like this one, then please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. So yes, we're continuing looking at 60s Vauxhalls in this all-range Vauxhall car brochure from, surprisingly, Canada. Last week, of course, well, we'll look at what we looked at last week just for a second. Let's have a look at the car brochure. Yes, we looked at the beautifully styled Victor Estates, which I think are actually just a lovely design of the rear. The week before that, we looked at the Victor saloons, but don't worry if you did miss any of those episodes, I will do a link at the end. But like I say, this week, we're looking at the 62 Cresta, the sort of luxury Vauxhall of its time. Very much American styling, of course. Unusual how this brochure is really set out. I think Vauxhall always seems to do a strange way of setting out brochures, and they did even into the 80s where they're doing it a bit the wrong way around. So in this brochure, we're actually going to look at the Cresta this week, and then the week later, the week after that, we're going to look at the 62 Velux. But this page kind of like introduces them both, so let's just see what it's got to say. First of all, it says Vauxhall's two great new style and performance leaders. The all-new 62 Vauxhall Velux and Cresta once again lead the field in high-performance luxury driving at modest cost. Inside and out, these great new cars are styled, fitted and finished in a manner that makes you anxious to own them, proud to drive and show them. They're sleeker, smoother riding than ever before, and they're offered with a wide choice of truly beautifully appointments and accessories to suit every need and taste. The smooth, superbly flexible six-cylinder Vauxhall engine is available with a choice of two advanced transmissions. Its ready power is matched by fast-acting large diameter brakes. The truly luxurious interiors are highlighted by new upholstery in subtle shades that blend with a wide range of delightful new exterior colours. And Vauxhall's new long-lasting high lustre finish adds a final touch of excellence. And then we've got a couple of little images. And this of course is a 60s brochure, so the images are drawn. Love the wings on these, and you can see straight away that sort of American influence. Really nice style. I think they're actually a really beautifully looking car. Vauxhall at this time sadly had a lot of rust issues, which is probably why I don't really remember them too well actually. I grew up in the 70s, so by the time the 70s came around, a lot of these cars were rusty shells, unfortunately, but which is a shame because they are such beautiful looking cars. And also, like I say, the model we're going to look at today is the Cresta, or as it very nicely entitles this one, the brilliant new six-cylinder Cresta opens the door to a world of luxury. So we're going to read the text, have a look at this beautiful two-tone one. I do love them in that two-tone colours. There's a nice little drawn interior shot on this side, and then it walks us through the possible colour choices and two-tone colour choices that you could have. Let's start with the text though. It is sadly only a very small writing, but I will read it. It says, "See it and you'll agree it's the most beautiful Cresta ever. It's distinguished by an outstanding, generous array of extra refinements, extra luxury and extra equipment at an unusually modest price. On the outside, your choice of striking colour combinations or solid colours, enhanced by stainless steel mouldings on the side windows. White wall tyres are standard and the wheels are fitted with polished aluminium trim rings. On the inside, wide, superbly comfortable seats are upholstered in high quality genuine leather or nylon in harmonised colours. Deep tufted pile carpets have thick resilient underlays, softly padded armrests are fitted to all doors, and a wide centre armrest folds into the rear seat. The powerful thermostatically controlled heater has a booster fan for rapid defrosting. Windshield washers, electric clock and cigarette lighter are all standard equipment on this wonderful new Cresta. Courtesy switches on all doors operate the interior light, and the generous luggage compartment is automatically illuminated when the trunk lid is raised. Twin separate front seats are available as an extra cost option. So standard is the bench seat, which was very typical for its time. But you can see things that are called luxury items, obviously we take for granted now, but obviously this is a different time. Let's have a look at the image. So this particular example is in Venetian red and Alaska white. Would have been a very striking car colour combination at the time. Lots of blacks and greys. I guess simpler colour choice is what we get now. A lot of greys and blacks around this time, so that would have been a very striking colour choice. I'm not sure it's the colour choice I would have chose, I must admit, but it is very striking. Really highlights the wings on the back there. And very interesting, really, that they're kind of like promoting this as a new car, really. Because these are the PA Crestas. I guess the first of the P Crestas. Yeah, so these particular Crestas ran from 57 to 62, so this is really the final roll of the dice for the PA. So despite it going on about how this is a new best ever Cresta, really it's the end of the run. So a bit of clever marketing really there to get rid of the last of the Crestas, really, before the PB came along. A much more conventional looking car in a few ways, kind of like lost those tail fins and kind of like fitted in better with the rest of the Vauxhall range, actually. But yeah, I do like these. I like the American styling on them. There's just something, would have looked something quite striking in its time, I think. Love the big chrome bumpers and all the bright work, that radiator and even the bright work that's going around the lights. And as it says, you know, you don't feel steel wheels are a luxury item, but white wall tyres and sort of like the beauty rings and the hubcap would have all added up to a luxury car at this time. And then of course we get all the bright work around the windows, Quarterlight. We can see unusual little Quarterlights in the front there, quite a thin little Quarterlight on there. This one possibly having red leather inside, although there were a couple of choices for interior, and of course that lovely big wing. Like I said, I'm not too sure about this particular colour combination. I do like two-tone cars, but this is certainly a very dramatic coloured ones. But I've also seen red and white ones where the roof is white and then it goes white along this sort of tail fin area, and then the rest of the car is red. So I think they had a few different variations of the two-tone. This might have been the 62. I think the 61 was mainly red with a white roof, but they used to like to update these to think you're getting something new, the latest colours for the latest years. And certainly we will look at what the colour combinations are, but let's have a look at the interior first. So a drone image, of course, but really beautifully drawn. I'm just going to zoom in a bit further. So a lot of wood in there, denoting, you know, this is a luxury model, possibly leather as well. I think the striking thing about these particular Crestas, though, is that big wraparound window, which would have been look really quite striking and very modern when it came out in 57. We've also got those little stubby quarter lights or vent windows if you're listening in from a different country. And then the big steering wheel with that horn ring. I think it's a really nice looking interior and overall a nice looking car. It's just a shame about all the rust issues. And then we look at the colour range for the Cresta, and it reminds you how terrible the colour range on modern cars is. You know, huge list of colours, and like I say, two different interiors or different interior colours variously. So it starts with black, and then it shows the interior colour. For a black one would be honey gold nylon patterned cloth. And like I said, this is just purely the solid colours. We've got the two-tone colours possible there as well. So colours on this one: black, Alaska white, gull grey, smoke grey, mist blue, Bermuda blue, moonlight blue, alpine green, glade green, honey gold, primrose, dusk rose, lilac haze, sun beige, Venetian red. And you can see there for Venetian red, the two different interiors. So you can get Venetian red with pewter grey nylon pattern cloth, or a Venetian red with a honey gold nylon pattern cloth. So you almost, again, like almost a customised car, aren't you? And then it also shows you can get the leathers. So it shows Alaska white, gull grey, smoke grey, mist blue with, for example, cherry red leather, or pewter grey and graphite grey leather, and Bermuda blue and moonlight blue leather. So very, very nice interiors. And then it does continue with those leather interiors rather than the nylon. I don't know how much extra it was for the leather, but that would be nice to see on this so-called luxury version. So it continues with Bermuda blue, moonlight blue, alpine green with silvered green and deep sea green leather. That does sound nice. Glade green, honey gold, primrose, dust rose, lilac haze, sun beige, Venetian red and black. You can have a couple of different colours. You can have a black one with honey gold and olive gold leather, or a black exterior with a cherry red leather. So plenty to choose from, that's for sure. And then it moves on to the two-tone colours. So the two-tone colours, so it's describing it as upper and lower, and then a different colour in the middle. I'll just take you to the original image. So this is how they did them in this particular 62 year. So you have one colour at the top, which is your upper, and then the matching colour at the bottom, and in the middle is your different colour. So this is Venetian red, upper and lower, and then the Alaska white in the middle. And like I say, I've seen different variations on that for the Cresta, so maybe they changed them depending on the year of the Cresta. But in 62, we've got a choice of an upper and lower in black, middle smoke grey, very classic combination, upper and lower in gull grey with Alaska white middle, moonlight blue with a Bermuda blue middle, glade green with an alpine green middle, honey gold with a primrose middle, Alaska white with a primrose middle, dusk rose with a lilac haze middle. That would have been quite a striking one. Venetian red with Alaska white, the colour that we saw. Black with smoke grey middle. These are the leathers now, aren't they? So that's going to repeat itself, but I'll go through them. Black with smoke grey middle. Gull grey with Alaska white middle. Moonlight blue with Bermuda blue middle. Glade green with alpine green middle. Honey gold with primrose middle. Alaska white with primrose middle, dust rose with lilac haze middle, Venetian red with Alaska white middle. And the reason why it's repeating itself, like I say, it's depending on what your choice is. Now it switches it around for this reason, on this one for some reason, but leathers at the top there, and then it moves through to the nylon colours there. So lots of nice colour choices there for sure, and I think, even though I'm not a huge fan of leather, I think I quite like the idea of having leather on this particular model of car. And who knows, maybe some good deals at the end of the production run for these Crestas before the radically differently designed newer model came out. Now, of course, you couldn't just get the Cresta. Next week, we are going to be looking at the 6-cylinder Velox. So yeah, next week we'll look at the very similar Velux, although you couldn't get those in those two-tone colours. And then also next week we'll look at the specifications and some of the features of the Cresta and the Velux. So that'll be next week's programme. Like I said, I will do a link at the end for the episodes we missed, and then we'll have this whole brochure in one place if you wanted to watch it all in one fell swoop. But what wonderful cars, do you remember these? I don't remember them too well. I've seen a few at like car shows, but I don't remember them too well in the 70s, or indeed I don't remember seeing any in the 80s because, like I say, rust was an issue, but still a wonderfully designed car, very much influenced by the American styling of the time. But we'll end, as we always do, by saying, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. You'll never be charged to be a subscriber, so please do consider doing that now. Keeps you in touch with the channel, helps the channel grow and give you better content. So thank you so much for those who have become a subscriber. Very much appreciated. We'll end with a nice little image of the Cresta in those two colours. Over the side here I'll put any episodes you missed in this particular 60s Vauxhall series. Up here is usually a random brochure that Vauxhall, I was going to say, that YouTube put up there. But thank you so much for watching today. Very much appreciated. Please do take care. We'll see you again very soon. All the best and goodbye.